I've been meaning to make this video for a while. I haven't seen it because I just wanted to wait until I get back home. And when I did, my sister still hasn't seen Thor Ragnarok or Black Panther. Although I just told her all she needs to do is just watch Thor Ragnarok and prepare for Infinity War. After that, we finally saw Infinity War, literally on the last day. It was showing at my theater. And this is her first time seeing it. And she loved it. And this is my second time. Now I wanted to make this video just to see do I think Avengers Infinity War holds up on second viewing? Is it rewatchable? What do I think of it now that I watched it again? Do I see anything else I liked? Or did I find any mistakes I didn't realize and therefore I have a second thought about it? And what is my answer? I think it's still pretty good. Of course it's not a perfect movie by any means. There's still some stuff that I kind of find a bit but there are some things I thought about, some overall problems I initially had that didn't really matter to me in the long run. Now I do think it's pretty good on second viewing because there are some things I didn't, like dialogues I missed. Well, because my first viewing experience was terrible. I saw on the opening day, like Friday, something like that, on late afternoon with me and my friends. It was my roommate and my other friend she's also a huge Marvel fan. We talk about Marvel all the time. When we saw it, we had pretty good seating. However, because there were so many people, you're gonna get some rude people in there too. I'm sorry. Before I continue with the story, I just want to let people know I'm not a racist. I'm just telling you what I see, and it's a type of behavior I keep seeing all the time when I go to the movies. Before the movie started, with all the trailers and promotion, there was a group of black ladies who was sitting next to us. One black lady, she dropped her keys, and it was like literally like almost to the point where the movie was gonna start. I could tell. She got her phone, turned on her flashlight like this in the theater, trying to look for her damn keys. Do that after the movie's fucking done. It's not gonna grow legs and walk away, okay? Just sit down, watch the movie. When the lights are up, pick up your keys and leave. Or if it's somehow missing, go talk to, like, I don't know, the workers to help out, who cleans up, you know? Well then, luckily she found her keys right before the movie started and sat down. I was like, okay, maybe I'll let that slide because the movie hasn't started yet. When the movie starts, and then throughout the entire movie, you just hear, oh no, he didn't. Oh yeah, that was you get. Oh yeah. Oh come on. Luckily for the second viewing of the movie, there was only 3 group of people, including me and my sister. It was just me, my sister. We were sitting in the middle of the seat because it was a really good seat too. And plus, it was like Wednesday afternoon, so it was still a school day, and plus it was in the middle of the week. So no one was there, and there was 2 elderly couples sitting in front of us, like I think like in 2 rows, and then there was like some group of teenagers and young adults on the way back. So you can't really hear them anyway. So definitely I could hear maybe some jokes I may have missed, or some dialogue I may have missed before because of the annoying people sitting next to us. Luckily, we didn't get to hear any of that, so I was able to hear the movie perfectly. That's the only good thing I can say about this movie. But when you watch it the second time, it doesn't feel as fresh as the first. I mean, you could really say that for any movie. You could argue against that, but to me, a great movie to me is like when you watch a movie and you notice some things later on upon rewatching it. There may be some moments or details you may have missed. Maybe some dialogue you never heard of before that was so subtle that you could definitely miss it for the first few times, but upon analyzing it, you realize it. Or certain visual elements that are like symbolic meanings that makes you notice it. Like films like Dark Knight, for example, does that a lot. Or when you watch films like Lego Movie, you notice things in the background you may have missed, and there's like little attention to like details and stuff you definitely would have missed, and you find that later on. Where Infinity War, it seems like when you know the story, when you know who's the character's fate, when you see all the surprises and you hear all the jokes, well then what are you watching the movie for again? Because in the end, this movie it's not a movie. This film is more of an event. I said that before in my initial reaction for Avengers Infinity War. It's not a movie at all, and that's not a bad thing. Like, it's clearly not. I mean, this is 10 years in making. They purposely Marvel purposely made an event like this, Infinity War, just so people can show up, see all the 10 years of planning they have done, and just see how it all come together. That's the whole point. But because of that, it does have to sacrifice some visual like elements or creativity from directors to make an event like this. So because really this didn't feel like a Russo brothers film, because when the Russo brothers shine in their Captain America movies, it will be stuff like how they film things. It feels like they're filming a spy action movie, like with Winter Soldier, for instance. Captain America kind of did the same thing until when all the Avengers come together. Then it just feels like a completely different movie. And for Avengers Infinity War, they have to sacrifice a lot of their creative skills to make something like this. So yeah, but that doesn't mean that when Red Skull shows up, I was still, I wasn't like, oh yeah, he shows up, whatever. I still enjoy his presence. Like, and certain characters that they still hit me hard, like Spider-Man, for instance, or Groot. But it's just like when you know what's gonna happen, there are parts in the movie that definitely drags on because you know what's gonna happen and you know exactly what they're gonna do, and you hear all the jokes, so you don't laugh as much as you used to before. It's great hearing those jokes again, especially when they're really funny, like Spider-Man and Star-Lord's banter, like if Footloose is the best movie, not really. Like, that was really funny. Or the jokes that happens off screen and you don't see the characters, those are still funny, but you don't get the same reaction upon first viewing. Now it boils down to this famous question. Now, a lot of people have said this, and I don't know if I've said this back in my Avengers video. When I left Infinity War, it was the exact same feeling I had when I left the first Avengers movie. The first Avengers movie was mind-blowing to me, and that's what basically made me a Marvel fan as right now. Avengers Infinity War gave me that same impression. It did a lot of creative things and did a lot of unique things I did not expect at all, and it left me satisfied. But the thing is, if I had to choose which one's the superior movie, I have to go with the first Avengers movie. Now, the first Avengers movie does have a lot of flaws as well. I mean, in the end, it's just a dumb comic book movie, so I didn't really care about it as much. And it has a really simple plot, etc. But the thing is, with the first Avengers movie, it will always have a special place in my heart. And yes, it has all the jokes. It has all the jokes, and you know exactly what's going to go on if you rewatch it multiple times. But there will be some visual cues. There will be some like moments that will still feel fresh to you. Meanwhile, as for Infinity War, it doesn't feel, like I said, it doesn't have the director's vision or into it. It's just a Marvel vision, while Avengers was more Joss Whedon and his creativity, and you see that. So you see the difference between the two. In terms of quality of filmmaking in general, I think Avengers is a superior film, but in terms of how much fun I had, I will give this one for Infinity War. Will I recommend you see Infinity War again for a second time? I would, especially if you have a really bad theater experience for the first time like I had. But other than that, I think it's better just to leave it as such. I will say that seeing Thanos again was really good. Like, when I saw the film for a second time, I only cared about Thanos. The rest of the Avengers, I didn't really care about them that much, because in the end, this is Thanos' movie. And whenever time Thanos is on screen, that's when it got more interesting, and I started to appreciate Thanos a lot more. But as for the other Avengers, because we already seen their character development, you just want to move on and get to the Thanos part. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's been pretty much how I think about Infinity War in the second viewing. Would I see this film again though if I have the time? Yeah, I would. I would only see it with my friends though. If I see it by myself, I honestly would just skip, honestly. And that's pretty much it. And for a list of Marvel films, Infinity War would be here on my list or something if I remember to put it in the video. So yeah, what did you guys think of Infinity War? Do you like it more, or were there some plot holes and stuff that you noticed that you didn't like upon second viewing? What are your thoughts? Is Infinity War your favorite Marvel movie too? I'm really bad at this. I'm not scripting this at all. I'm just like rambling at the top of my head. Anyway, guys, that's all. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.